And a Team 10 investigation has found federal law enforcement padding their paychecks, claiming overtime they never worked.
Investigator Mitch Blocker followed the paper trail and uncovered whistleblower testimony. Mitch, you also found the price tag on this fraud could be in the billions?
Right. If you add up pension costs and consider how long this has been going on, it certainly could climb that high. But this scandal is about more than money. It speaks to the very heart of law enforcement ethics. Securing America is tough and often treacherous work. To do the job, the U.S. Border Patrol works long hours and has to trust its agents to accurately report when they work. But whistleblowers across the country say that hasn't happened. One at a Customs and Border Protection training facility in Georgia claims $5 million were paid in a year for unworked overtime, including to 50 managers. Another at the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Headquarters office in Washington, D.C. said everyone in the office claimed 10 hours of overtime every week. Now, two of the main whistleblowers in this federal case work right here in San Ysidro at the busiest international border in the world. They claim they have seen their colleagues write down at least an extra 2 hours of overtime that were never worked. A report to the president from the fall of 2013 concludes such abuse of overtime pay is a violation of the public trust. The letter cites overtime abuse at 6 Department of Homeland Security offices, including the Border Patrol, saying abuse at these offices alone costs the taxpayers approximately $8.7 million annually.
Please stand, raise your right hand.
Congress held hearings in February on the fraud, but senators went easy on the Border Patrol and DHS.
I've got to tell you, with the different two people sitting up here, they could be beating you guys to death and making themselves look pretty good, because this looks pretty bad.
The Border Patrol takes its responsibility to be a good steward of taxpayer dollars very seriously. Misuse of government's funds is not tolerated.
Team 10 found agents who say it has been tolerated and overlooked for at least 30 years in the Border Patrol.
I turned myself in.
Meet John Randolph, one of the first whistleblowers. He joined the Border Patrol back in 1979. He spent 8 years in El Cajon and 10 in San Diego. He said after 5 years of lying about his overtime, he couldn't do it anymore. He wrote this letter in 1984 to Border Patrol leadership. It says Border Patrol agents can and do abuse this system by lying about the amount of overtime that they work.
We're sworn federal officers. We swear that we're going to tell the truth, we're going to uphold the law, and yet we go back to our station and we lie about the overtime we're working. That didn't work with me.
Randolph said he was interviewed by federal investigators at the time, but was never charged with a crime. He was suspended 30 days without pay, according to this letter from the Border Patrol. There are now more than 20,000 Border Patrol agents and more than 200,000 people working inside the Department of Homeland Security.
Can you imagine how much money this is? It's so wrong.
Now, the Department of Homeland Security stopped paying overtime to clerical and office workers back in the fall of 2013. The information we reviewed also questions more than 200 internal affairs workers at DHS and their overtime habits. Surprisingly, those are the same workers who actually were part of an internal investigation into this fraud.
And there are federal hearings into this. Are there any efforts to recover the money?
Not that have been made public so far. No one's been charged with a crime and no lawsuits have been filed. In fact, it was very hard for us to find out how much money may have been illegally paid, and we've been waiting for specific numbers from the Department of Homeland Security and the Border Patrol for more than 6 months now.
Incredible time.
Yeah.